Peace to the so-called black nation who are actually the biblical Israelites. It's me, Brother Micah, here with another episode of Black Survival. So this is the first episode where I am giving you guys practical tips on black survival. I gave you guys spiritual tips in all the previous episodes. This is the first episode I'm giving you guys actual physical tips on black survival. Today we're dealing with winter survival. Winter survival begins with your gear, man, your clothing, right? What I'm wearing right now. That's what winter survival begins with. Why am I doing a winter survival video? I'm doing a winter survival video because in Matthew 24 verse 20, the Most High says to pray that you don't have to flee in the winter or on the Shabbat, okay, the Sabbath day. The reason he's saying that is because winter is the most difficult time of year to deal with. It's easy to die in the winter, right? And when you read survival manuals from the military, they tell you the same thing. Even when you have all your tools, it's very difficult to survive in the winter. As we approach the end of the American Empire, the advice that I have given to every Israelite is to remove yourself from winterized countries. Go somewhere warmer, okay? You're putting yourself in a great situation to see the coming of the Most High, which is nigh. And that's pursuant to Revelation 11 to 12, and also 2nd Ezra's chapter 16 and 2nd Ezra's chapter 15, okay? So winter, you have to defend yourself against winter. So I'm just doing this so that while we are in these cold places during the winter, we have the best chance for survival, whether the grid is up, whether civilization is running as normal, or whether it's not. Now, if you've been paying attention to the news, you know that at any time we can have power outages. And in these winterized places without power, it becomes very difficult to survive and to stay healthy, right? And so these next few videos for winter survival will teach you what you ought to do to prepare for the winter, okay? That being said, we're gonna start with your gear, your clothes, right? One of the principal things for survival of man is clothing. So with your clothes, and this is a budget winter gear prep video as well, okay? Just so you know. So we're dealing with preparing for the winter when you're broke, man, or when you're poor, right? Because Yahweh loves the poor, man, right? In any case, damn, his people are poor, man, you know? And that's pursuant to Revelation 2 and 9 and Revelation, 2 and 9, and you can read 3 and 9 to add to that for a little spice. In any case, this is a budget winter gear prep video, all right? So here goes. When you're preparing for winter on a budget, you want to use a 3-layer system, okay, with accessories, all right? That's the best system to use. We are used to going out there and purchasing just these big heavy jackets like the one I have on and thinking, yes, that's going to keep us warm. But really keeping warm when there's no power is a matter of the appropriate system and not one jacket or a snow pants or anything like that, okay? So you want to we want to build a 3-layer system with accessories, all right? As a note, we want 3 layers. We want a wicking layer, we want a insulating layer, and we want a shell, all right? That's what we're working with. We want to make sure that the clothing that we are purchasing is loose clothing, because tight clothing cuts off your circulation, which really destroys your ability to stay warm. And you want to remember to use thrift shops, okay? Use thrift shops, okay? Don't be proud, all right? The thrift shops, when you know what you're looking for, are able to provide a lot of value for you, okay? So that's the overview. So here's the breakdown of the best budget materials to use from the skin out. Okay, so starting at your skin out. So number one, avoid cotton. So many of us have so much cotton and cotton blends. First of all, we're not supposed to be wearing blends because we're Hebrews. The Most I said we're 100% materials. But in any case, avoid cotton. Even amongst winter hikers and outdoorsmen, there's a saying that goes, "Cotton kills, man." Right? Why does cotton kill? Because cotton absorbs moisture, does not get it off of your body, but keeps it on your body, and then it loses all its ability to keep you warm once it's wet. Okay, so avoid cotton at all costs. Always choose synthetic materials or wool alternatives. All right. Your first layer. With your first layer, that'll be a moisture wicking layer. That's gonna get moisture off of your body and to the surface so that your body can stay warm. All right, because water just utterly destroys your ability to stay warm. This first layer, you want to use polyester. So you can get a long sleeve polyester shirt, which I'm wearing right now, in order to wick the moisture off of your body. All right. It's cheap, it's durable, it dries really fast. It's the workhorse of synthetic fabrics. Okay. So you can look for brands like 32 Degrees at Costco. Decathlon has their in-house brand. I'm not sure if we have Decathlon in Canada or not. Um, but hey, Walmart, thermals from Walmart, or well, we don't have Target, at least not in Toronto. But if you have Target where you are, Walmart or Target, their simple polyester long sleeve is perfect. Okay, I'm actually wearing a long sleeve, probably from Walmart right now. Okay, 100% polyester. If you got money to spend, the absolute best material that you can use is 100% merino wool. All right, it's a nice, supple wool that doesn't really scratch your body too much. Okay, so you can use that. For layer two, your mid layer, this is your insulating layer. All right, you wanna, what's it gonna do? It's gonna trap your body heat and keep you warm, because the human body is like a battery. We generate heat. So if you can keep the heat in, it's the perfect situation, right? In fact, a lot of homeless people, the systems that they've developed is to keep heat in, to prevent themselves from losing heat, and they're able to survive, right? So your, what do you want for your mid layer, your insulating layer? You want fleece, which I'm wearing right now. I'm wearing a nice fleece kind of sweater right now, and I'm quite comfortable, right? There's just a slight draft on my elbow, like ever so slight, but that's because I'm just standing here doing nothing, right? But fleece is really going to is really your best bet for a budget-friendly insulation layer. All right. Why is it good? It's essentially recycled polyester. Okay, brushed to create air trapping loops. Okay, it's lightweight, it's breathable, it provides excellent warmth for its weight and its cost. Family. Okay. Types to look for: polar fleece, or micro fleece, or grid fleece. Okay, that's what you want to look for. Examples of grid fleece, for example, is Polar Tech or Power Grid. Polar Tech Power Grid. Okay, and that's when you're doing high activity, you might want to use something like that. Where to get it? You can get this stuff from Old Navy. Okay, you can get fleece from Walmart, Winners, Value Village, right? I mean, I don't really shop at Salvation Army. I don't like Salvation Army stuff, but if that's what you got, that's what you got. It's better to get the gear than to not get the gear. And don't get overwhelmed with this, family. This is not about going out there and buying a whole bunch of stuff. Start with just one extra warm suit, so that if you're in an emergency situation, you can put that system on and give yourself the best chance to survive, right? In the interim, while you work on getting out of these cold countries. Okay, so that's your second layer. Your third layer, your outer layer, is the shell, the protection layer. This is just to protect you from wetness. Okay, because as I said earlier on, wetness will absolutely destroy you in the winter. Okay, So you want, what does this layer do? Protect you from wetness. It blocks wind as well, and it protects your insulating layers, right? Um, you want to get a windbreaker or a rain jacket that's non-insulated, all right, and that'll be the best thing for you to use for your third layer. All right, why? The key here is separation of duties, right? A simple uninsulated shell protects your warm and cheaper fleece or puffy layers from the elements. As I said, this is far more versatile. This is the key here, versatility, right? You can easily take off or put on when you have a layered system. If you just have one jacket, you're either too hot or you're too cold. You understand? You can control your temperature better with a layered system. All right. It's more versatile and affordable than one bulky all-in-one winter coat, family. All right, so that's why you want to use. That's another reason you want to use this system. So, what materials? Look for a jacket made of polyester or nylon, of course, 100% because we're Hebrews. And you want to look for one that has a durable water repellent coating, okay? Often called a DWR coating, all right? It doesn't need to be expensive Gore-Tex, okay? A basic waterproof or windproof shell from Columbia um, or Decathlon or REI Co-op on sale is perfect, okay? So, I mean, you want to look for at Columbia their OUTDRY line. It's called the OUTDRY line. I'll see if I can post actually links to all this stuff within the video description. All right, give me some time. If you don't see it right now, it's gonna be there. I'm gonna work on it and I'll make sure I get that out in the description for you guys. Okay. So here's the secret weapon, the fourth weapon, the accessories, right? So you can have your body warm and stuff like that, but if your extremities are just not able to function, if you can't do nothing because your feet are freezing or your hands are freezing, your ability to survive goes down exponentially, all right? And so you want to accessorize, right? You want a neck gaiter, right? I have an improvised neck gaiter here with a scarf. I can't remember the name of this pattern. Houndstooth, just a houndstooth. I think this is a polyester scarf. You know, I tied it in a triangle around my face and then I dropped it to below my mouth so I could work with it. All right, and this is multi-layered. It's really holding in the heat. All right, because your neck being exposed is really gonna kill you, man. You understand? That's really gonna take heat from your body really quickly. Um, and also, you know, my head is a little bit exposed here, so don't watch that. All right, concerning bringing out you know, spiritual issues from earlier on. In any case, uh, the accessories. All right, you want that neck gaiter. All right, you want gloves. All right. What else can you use? Leg warmers, right? And good loose wool or polyester socks, man. Right? If you get those layers going, you will have a wonderful, wonderful time in the cold. Dare I say wonderful time, but you'll have a much easier time in the cold. Okay? So for gloves, you're looking for mitts. These finger gloves are okay. I mean, for lower temperatures, but once the temperature starts, for higher temperatures, but once the temperature starts dropping, you really want to have mitts. You only want to wear these gloves briefly to get things done where you need a more tactile ability, but really and truly you want to use your mitts. This is what you want to make sure you have a pair of wool or polyester or fleece mitts. All right, thinsulate mitts are also good, and you can put some loose cheap gloves from like Home Depot under that, one pair under, and then you put the thinsulate mitts on top. You're golden. All right. When I used to work in the construction field, sometimes just putting on two of those cloth gloves would definitely help me a lot because I can steal the warmth from my other fingers. All right. So neck gaiter beanie gloves, all right, made from fleece, acrylic knit, or acrylic knit or polyester, all right, extremely cheap, very good. Socks, again, made from fleece, acrylic knit or polyester, all right. And we know we're using that because your extremities lose heat faster than your core. All right. And having them well insulated will certainly help you thrive against the cold, family. All right. Couple more points. And thanks for staying so long and watching this video. If you reach this point and you're finding the information useful, um, and you want survival techniques that start with the foundation of spirituality, because you cannot survive physically without first surviving spiritually. Because even if you survive physically, one day you're going to close your eyes and die, and then you're going to face your God, your true black God, and you will be condemned to death. So survival starts with first getting yourself right spiritually by returning to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your true black God. And then after that, you use this guidance to see his face, because he says those that are able to be alive to see the return of Christ are more blessed than those that be dead, because the ones that are alive are going to get to reign 1,000 years with Christ before he resurrects his the ones that died. All right, so we actually get an extra blessing. That's off the top what I remember. Family, if it's a different thing in the scriptures, please correct me under. But the last time I studied it, that's what I remember getting from that particular study. Um, so once you have your accessories and your proper layers, all right, you got your proper moisture wicking layer, you have your proper insulating layer, and you have your proper shell, and you have your accessories, as I said, then you're good to go. All right. Where to shop for these budget gear items? All right, we mentioned some places already. I'm just gonna add military surplus stores. Okay, they have wool sweaters and fleece liners cheap over there. All right, and they're very, very durable. And thrift shops, man, I'm gonna mention thrift shops again. Right, you don't have to break the bank to stay warm. You don't have to break the bank to be prepared for the winter. Okay, family, this will cost you maybe $100 to $150 per person in your home, and you can even do it for cheaper if you just go out there, shop smart. Okay, I'm sure you might be able to do it for $200. Okay, don't kill yourself. Start small and do one outfit per person. At least you have your emergency system ready to help you survive. All right, why do we have to do this? Well, let's end with the scriptures again. Going to 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 40, the Most High says, be ready for your battle. Okay, the end of the world, the fall of the last kingdom that's gonna reign before Yahweh's kingdom, the fall of America, is a battle. This is warfare. This is spiritual warfare. And the Most High says, be ready for your battle. Okay, and he says, in this battle, what you ought to do, here's the big secret, not hunker down, but the secret is to be a pilgrim upon the earth. That's what's gonna save ye Negroes and you sincere strangers who actually want to follow the real black God of the universe, not religion's devils. The secret is to be a pilgrim on the earth. That is how you're gonna make it. Okay, by the grace of Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh via Yahweh Shai the Prince. That is that's the big secret, right? So be ready for your battle. That means you got work to do, right? And be a pilgrim on the earth. Learn how to be a nomad. Learn how to live as a nomad. Okay? In verse 75 of the same chapter, it says, Yahweh is your guide. So how are you gonna make it when this kingdom falls apart and comes to nothing, when war is everywhere and we're living in a Mad Max situation? Don't think this is some kind of conspiracy. or it's not going to happen. If you shut down the electrical grid, there is nothing in the Western world. They can't do anything, right? Everyone is, most people are completely disconnected from the ability to start a fire, to fish, to hunt, to build, to camp. Most people are completely disconnected from that, including a lot of you Hebrews, man, right? So you got to go back to that, right? And how? Yahweh tells you he's going to be your guide. He tells you be ready for your battle. He tells you be a pilgrim on the earth, which is a nomad, right? Learn how to be one of these hiker campers, man. That's how you're going to make it. Not by hunkering down and saving up 1,000 tons of food. You understand? And getting your AK-47 and your sniper rifle and defending your home. That's what these preppers out here push. It's utter nonsense. Okay, they're gonna die. That's what's gonna happen to them, right? And then you, as a nomad, gonna pass by and take the things that's left over, if there's anything left over, because the Bible teaches that people gonna come in and rifle their houses for things, right, and destroy them, man, to take their stuff, right? But you, as a pilgrim on the earth, going from place to place, will have the best opportunity to live, right? And what a beautiful day it'll be when we see our true black Messiah crack the sky with his so-called UFOs, his alien technology, and come and war this world into submission, man, right? In any case, that's a deeper study. In any case, what's the last thing I really? Oh yeah, Yahweh is your guide. Okay, Yahweh is your guide. He's not your genie. Okay, here's another secret. The Most High God spent thousands of years being a genie for the children of Israel. And you know what they did with this genie? They slapped him in the face. The Most High made food drop out of heaven for them, sweetened the water for them, gave them water out of rocks, and showed them all kinds of powers, man, right? Raised their people from the dead, and they spit in his face. So when this time the Bible teaches Yahweh is not your genie, he's not going to do genie things for you. He's going to be your guide, and you have to do the work, okay? So with that, all praise to the Most High. Take the guidance. Okay, this is your first video on winter preparation, beginning with your clothing. So get the right clothing, and see you guys in the next video. Okay, all praise to the Most High, and thanks for watching. Blessings.